Good morning. Guess what day it is? It's April 6th. So several things are going on today. It's Good Deeds Day. It's National Siamese Cat Day. And it's Fresh Tomato Day. So I'm going to tell you some information about tomatoes. The first set of information comes from the Campbell Soup Company. They say that tomatoes are not always red, and we know that. There are yellow, pink, purple, black, and even, it says, white tomatoes. There are over 10,000 varieties of tomato. Tomatoes are technically a fruit. Tomatoes have been to space. The first tomatoes were gold and considered an aphrodisiac. In the 16th century, they were introduced to Europe, and they were small, golden, and cherry-sized. China is the largest producer of tomatoes, and tomatoes are very rich in lycopene. Tomatoes are well known for heart health, and the word tomato comes from a Spanish word which comes from an Aztec word meaning plump thing with a navel. And then there was an article from Red Sun Farms about myths that are associated with tomatoes. And the first one was that tomatoes should be refrigerated. But they say no, that it actually breaks down the tomato and makes it have a loose composure. Tomatoes can be stored in direct sunlight. They say no, tomatoes are delicate and begin to ripen as soon as they're picked off the vine. Exposing them to sunlight will cause their skin to dehydrate. Myth number 4, they say, is that tomatoes are vegetables, and we've just said before that they're not, they're fruits. And number 5, under-ripened tomatoes will ripen faster in the windowsill. They say in this article that light is not the necessary component for ripening, but humidity and temperature. Tomatoes have a high level of sodium is a myth, and they say no, that they're very low in sodium actually, and only 22 calories in a medium-sized tomato. You shouldn't store your tomatoes in a paper bag is a myth. If your tomatoes aren't ripened as much as you would like, you should store them in a paper bag at room temperature, and it will help to preserve the fresh, earthy flavor. Tomatoes are very versatile. They're eaten by themselves, in soups, on sandwiches, in pasta, in pizza, etc., etc. So have you had the experience of getting a fresh tomato, slicing it? It smells so good and it's so juicy. Yum! The juice just runs down your hands when you take a bite. But on the other hand, have you had the experience of finding a tomato at the store that looks wonderful? You take it home, you slice it, there's no smell and absolutely no taste. Have you had that experience? According to an article by Diane Dugan, tomatoes get their flavor from time spent on the vine. But industrially grown tomatoes may never get the chance to fully ripen. They're picked while still green to keep them firm and less likely to bruise during shipping. To enhance their appeal, she says, they're later sprayed with ethylene, a natural gas that emits from the fruit on the vine. But the end result is usually flavorless because most modern tomatoes aren't ripe, they're just red. Does that sound like so-called Christians you know? They dress up nicely, they come to church. If you look at them, the outside looks good. But if you could look on the inside, they would be flavorless, lacking the qualities of Jesus in their everyday lives. John 15, 1-5 says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, and every branch that bears fruit he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. You are already clean because of the word which I spoke to you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me, and I in him, bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. So today, maybe have a juicy tomato sandwich for lunch, and plug yourself into the true vine, Jesus. There you can grow and ripen to be a mature Christian with lots of flavor.